remember that I am the oldest man in the province now. As Father Grau was coming to the Philippines, in Ceylon, he received a command from the province that he had to come to Gujarat instead of going to the Philippines. And so he broke journey, he stopped there, and then he came to the Philippines, to Gujarat. He didn't know English, and he didn't know Gujarati, of course. So for him was a real test of obedience. In the Philippines, he would have had no problem, because they spoke Spanish still, and the fathers were speaking Spanish naturally. But then when he was asked to come to Gujarat, he found that he didn't know English and he did not know Gujarati. So the man cried and cried and cried, because he had days in which he could do nothing, just live and wait by inspiration of God, till he picked up a few words of Gujarati, and then he called one of the catechists, and he asked him to translate what he said in Spanish. It had to be translated into Gujarati. So, a very difficult thing to do. So the beginnings are always painful, and yet there is all hope. The Lord is behind. And so, at the end, they achieved what they had come to do. Then Father Grau became a great missionary in Gujarat. And he was a first-class preacher and a first-class organizer. For instance, he organized the procession of the Magi, with camels and so on, going to worship the child in Bethlehem. He was very inventive, very creative, and so he was a great missionary. And because of his character, very well accepted by people. In Anand, at the beginning, he found that he couldn't speak in Gujarati and that he could not speak in English, so he had to be silent. Little by little, he picked up a few words of Gujarati, and I believe the catechists must have known some Spanish, and they were translated for him. He couldn't speak Gujarati, he could not speak in English, and yet he was a very inventive man. He invented processions to worship the child. He didn't know the language. He was speaking in whatever way he could. But the articles were written afterwards in Gujarati and translated by the catechist. And so he started a dut also. A great man, a great pioneer, without any, so to say, foundation in any language, but he managed, through the catechist, to spread the word of God here in Gujarat.